Hi, welcome to today's yin practice. For today, you are going to want nice and comfy clothes, kind of crazy hair. A bolster or a pillow will work just fine. A block or a shoebox will work, a blanket, and then maybe a wall or a chair. Either one will work. We'll be doing some legs up the wall action. And we're going to get started in a seated position. I like that blanket beneath my knees. And we're starting in a seated hero's pose. Now remember, we hold these shapes for longer in yin. So if it feels comfortable to sit right on your heels, go for it. I personally like to bring a bolster between my heels and my sit bones. That feels a little bit more comfortable. Or you can bring the block between your heels and sit right there. If none of these feel great in your knees, take an easy seat. That is totally fine. Just starting here, hands root down into your lap wherever you are. Eyes soften or close. Working here to keep a nice tall spine throughout our time in the pose. Letting that breath flow in and out at a natural pace. Adjust your props as you need to. And when you feel ready, settle into stillness. Give yourself another round of breath here. When that's complete, if you're working with any props, slide them out from under you. Then bring your knees just a bit wider, hands behind your hips, and press your hips forward for a mini camel. We're here for just a moment. Then come back to the seat, trying to give those hip flexors, the front of the hips, a little love. One more round, hands come behind your hips. Press the hips up towards the sky. Then come back to the mat. Shifting those heels out from under you. We'll make our way into our next shape, which is going to be a variation on deer pose. I'm going to take the bolster in front of me. You may want your block within reaching distance as well. Bolster lengthwise on the mat. Right shin parallel towards the top of the mat, or is parallel, is available in your body. Left shin parallel towards the long edge of the mat. And then we're gonna fold over that bolster here. Now for me, I need to bring the block under the bolster for a little more height so that I can rest my chest and my right cheek on the bolster. Adjust as you need to. Add in more props if you need a little more height. And when you're ready, settle in. Another round of breath right here. Then lift your upper body out of the shape. Can shift back, bringing both soles of the feet to the mat. Maybe let the knees fall side to side here. Preparing for that other side. Left shin parallel to top edge of the mat. Right shin parallel to long edge. You might stay here lifted, beautiful, or fold forward, adjusting your props as you need to. Left cheek to the mat if that feels comfortable or available in your body. Next breath, begin to press your upper body out of the shape. Bringing both soles of the feet to the mat once more. You can let those knees fall side to side. Giving yourself as much time here as you'd like. Then preparing for our next pose, which is going to be a reclined butterfly. You can shift the props behind you or just spin your body so that the props are behind you. I bring the block at its medium setting right towards the top of the mat. Bolster on that block, creating a little ramp here. And then I also unroll my blanket, so I have a nice rectangle here, rolling it up into a little burrito situation. And I bring that around my ankles. So, a lot of options. When you're ready, nestle up your hips right to the edge of that bolster. And I'm gonna start with soles of the feet on the mat. Recline down, first adjusting, finding where that block placement feels secure and stable and feels okay in your back. Releasing the block if it doesn't feel good. Releasing the bolster if it doesn't feel good. When you're ready, soles of the feet start to come together, knees falling open to either side. Now, if this doesn't feel great having both hips open, you can bring one sole of the foot to the mat, opening just one side of the body, and I'll let you know when it's halfway through so that you can switch. Give yourself time. Settle into what feels right for you. Backs of hands can rest on the floor here, or palms press into your belly if that feels better. Give yourself a few rounds of breath and embrace the stillness here. If you're doing one side of the body at a time, allow yourself to switch out which leg is open and which knee points towards the sky. Settling in. Continue to breathe, slowing that pace of breath here. One more breath. When you're ready, bring both knees to point up towards the sky, maybe letting the knees fall side to side here. And you're welcome to roll off one side of the bolster and press yourself up, or palms press into the floor, lifting yourself up that way, however you get there. Coming into our more restorative practice, this is where I'm gonna bring in the chair. And for me, a bolster on top of the chair, I think typically works best, but sometimes I need to adjust. You can bring that blanket back under your hips for a little cushioning if that feels better. And you are welcome to take legs up the wall, just straight up the wall like we've done in other practices. This version with the chair is a little softer, so it brings a little less sensation, which for a restorative practice is what I'm looking for here. But play around with what's right for you. Bringing your legs up the wall, or shins, rather I should say calves, resting on that chair. Adjust and find what feels good for you. You've got plenty of time in this shape, so take as much time as you need to find the prop set up, find your positioning. When you feel ready, settle into stillness. Eyes can be soft or closed, allowing your body and your mind to be nice and still here. Start to nudge your mind back towards your breath, giving yourself 3 more breaths wherever you are. When that's complete, if it feels good where you are and you want to stay right here, you are more than welcome to use this pose as your final resting shape. If you'd like to shift to Shavasana, begin to make your way out of legs up the wall, releasing your feet towards the floor, adjusting however you need to. Doesn't always have to be a graceful transition out. Taking your time here to set up a Shavasana that feels really comfy and cozy in your body. So for me, that means I like the bolster behind my knees. Some people prefer to take that blanket and rest it just over the belly, can be nice and grounding. I would like some extra coziness, so I'm gonna cover my whole body with the blanket. Really give yourself time here to set up. When you're ready, make your way to your back body, letting your arms find a comfortable position to rest. Scan here so the bottoms of the feet soften, glutes soften, shoulders slide out from under you, tongue releases from the roof of the mouth, eyebrows slide away from each other. Your only job is to breathe, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. body can remain still. If it feels good and is available, you are more than welcome to stay in this place of rest. If it's time to close out your practice, might start deepening those inhales and exhales. Feel that rise and fall in your chest. Begin to add in whatever gentle movement feels good to wake up your body. Can rock the head side to side, wiggle fingers and toes, even building to a good morning stretch with fingertips overhead, toes opposite direction, whatever feels best for you. Take your time. Make your way to a fetal position on either side, just for moments, before you gently press yourself up to any comfortable seated position. Eyes can stay soft or closed. Give yourself a moment here to feel into some gratitude for showing up today, for taking care of yourself in this way. We'll close with a collective breath. Hands can stay on the lap or layer one over the other on top of your heart. Can exhale to prepare. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thanks for being part of this rad community, and I hope the rest of your day is absolutely beautiful.